Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a lot of news to get through today. The past few days, I haven't actually been able to get on and make a video. I have been busy with work, and if you have seen on my Instagram and on the channel, I was doing some media work at the Nikita Zoo fight on Wednesday night. If you haven't seen that, go on my Instagram, check it out. Go on YouTube, check out the interviews, some behind the scenes stuff, some press conference stuff, all that good stuff that I got from the Nikita Zoo fight night. It was a very entertaining fight night. We'll quickly touch in on it. Nikita Zoo, round one stoppage. Good performance for Nikita. Didn't get the rounds in that I would have liked to have seen him, especially with that hand injury. I really wanted to see him test it over the course of a fight. But hey, he got in there. He got the business done. He doesn't want to be in there for 12 rounds if he doesn't have to be. So another person very like that, Michael Zarafa. He fought Mikey Dolman, got him out round one as well. Another good performance from Michael Zarafa. He's really climbing the middleweight rankings now, pushing for a world title. I did ask him about the world title, so definitely jump into the press conference video after this and check all those out. So all the Aussies performed very, very well. Brock Jarvis, he beat Sam Beck, 4th round stoppage. Ahmed Reddy got a good unanimous decision victory. He's so young and so good. He's now is he the Intercontinental or the Australasian lightweight champion? One of those, but he has now got some belts in the lightweight division within the domestic scene. Still so young. Great young fighter. And Jazzy Pashi opened the card on the main card, I should say, with a good stoppage victory. Came within the last 10 seconds of the final round, but hey, stoppage is a stoppage. Another good performance from Jazzy Pa. And I hope to see her again, maybe even later this year. There's a card in October. Wouldn't mind seeing her one more time this year. Another exciting young Australian female fighter. And there was some good early prelims as well on that card. But let's get into the news, because a lot has broken over the past sort of 2 days that I have missed that I really need to start talking about. For me, there's only one place to start, and that is Jake Paul fighting Gervonta Davis. Ridiculous. It is ridiculous for me. It's a bit of a clown show. This is what pisses me off a little bit, because I give Jake Paul a lot of credit on this channel, and I give him a lot of credit basically off MVP in terms of what he's doing with the women's boxing. I think that women's card was phenomenal. They all get paid much better than what they will in other organizations, and that's important. That is important. To hold a full women's card at Madison Square Garden is exceptional stuff. So many belts, so many good fighters on that card. And I love giving him credit for all of that stuff, because it is important and it is big for boxing. What turns me off a little bit about Jake Paul is the way he conducts himself within the ring. Now, why I say that is because you want to fight Mike Perry, who's tiny and an MMA fighter. You want to fight Mike Tyson, who's 60. You want to fight Julio Cesar Chavez, who barely came to fight through no punches and then got deported the next day and had all sorts of legal issues going around. That's fine. Go and fight and put on good events. Call it what it is. Make it entertaining, because it is entertaining. We all sit and watch just like this. Everybody will be here shitting on Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, but on November 15th, we will be there watching it. That is all fine. What pisses me off is when he comes out there and says that he is better than some of the world champions, that he is fighting the best of the best, that he is beating world champions, and that all this other rubbish, or that, I deserve to be in the top 15. It's like, no, you don't, buddy. You are fighting people. Yes, you are getting in the ring, which a lot of people aren't doing, but don't call yourself what you're not. You are fighting people for entertainment purposes and for money reasons, and that's it. You're not challenging the best of the best. My attitude would be very different if Jake Paul came into this fight and says, all right, let me look at the top 15 cruiserweights right now. Number 13, number 12, number 10, number 9, number 8. I want you. This is my next fight. I'm going to prove that I deserve a title shot. But he hasn't. He's now going to fight Gervonta Davis in an exhibition match November 15th at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, live on Netflix. Great. Big money fight. I'll be watching. Look, I'm going to sit here and shit on it, but I'll be watching. More hate watching to hope Gervonta Davis lands one, but at the point, I really don't know. I do have something that I do want to read out, and it is the tail of the tape for this bout, and I thought it was quite interesting. Gervonta Davis, 5'5", Jake Paul, 6'1". Last weighed in, 133.8 pounds for Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul, 199.4. Gervonta Davis, 67-inch reach, and Jake Paul, 76-inch reach. Now, one other thing that's important to talk about is those are the weights that they last weighed in at. But in this exhibition match, I don't think they'll have to weigh in. So Jake Paul could really weigh in at 210, 220 pounds, maybe more. There's no reason he can't. Gervonta Davis will probably sit 145 to 150, I would expect. So they're both going to go up a bit of weight. But Jake Paul, if he's fighting at 210, 215 pounds against a guy that's 145, it is dangerous. It is dangerous for Tank. For me, it is hard to say how the fight's going to go because it is an exhibition match. It is an exhibition match. These are always less competitive because your professional record's not on the table. It really doesn't matter how well you perform in this because it will be an exhibition match. You'll get a really, really handsome payday for not any risk at all. For Jake Paul, it's not the opponent I wanted. Now, apparently, he was in talks with AJ. We all know that. And it broke down due to network issues. How true that is, what that means, I'm not sure. Whether that means AJ wanted to fight on DAZN and Jake Paul wanted to fight on Netflix and that's the reason they couldn't come to an agreement. Probably. But then to go and fight Gervonta Davis, we know he's been calling him out for a while, but we know why he's fighting him because he's tiny. He's fucking small as. So that pisses me off a little bit. As far as Tank Davis, because I do think we need a conversation about him in terms of what he's doing with his 135-pound belt, because it should be Davis versus Roach. There's really no excuse for that. For me, he should fight Jake Paul and then be handed a mandatory to fight Roach next year and give him the choice of Davis. You can either become a prize fighter, you can either become a guy that's fighting for money, or you can defend that belt and you can show that you're a world champion. And we'll see where Gervonta Davis's heart lies, whether it is in making money or whether it is in becoming the best boxer he can be, because I think there's still a lot left in Tank. I do worry about whether his heart's in it. Obviously, he's had a lot of personal and legal issues this year, which have all but seemed to be resolved, which is good. I don't like seeing the stuff that Tank Davis was accused of doing, and we're not going to get into that because there's no place for that in society at all. But as far as Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, it's not who I want to see Tank Davis fighting, and it's not who I want to see Jake Paul fighting. But saying all that, I can bet you guys, as well as myself, will be all sat there on November 15th on Netflix. Hopefully they put together a good card and some of those women get good exposure and some other good fighters get good exposure, because that is what I look for on these cards, is who else are the eyes on, because Taylor vs. Serrano 2 got so many eyes on it, and it really propelled those two and the making of that Madison Square Garden card, which is good for boxing. Alright, this video is getting quite long, so let's try and get through the last bit of news. The IBF have ordered Barkram Murtazalia to defend his 154 title against Josh Kelly. First fight for Barkram since that Tim Tszyu win in October 2024. Obviously, he claims that nobody wants to fight him. How true that is, I'm not sure, but I'm not surprised at all that Josh Kelly has stepped up. He doesn't strike me as someone that bitches out of fights. He's happy to take the hardest of the hardest fights. Saying that, for me, early doors, I think Barkram will beat him. Josh Kelly, he had a good win earlier this year, beating Flavius Bayer in the first round. It is hard to tell. Barkram, you're basically going off what he did against Tim Tszyu, isn't it? I think most of us will be going off that as a gauge. I think he's scary. I think he's got unbelievable power. I put him in that Beterbiev style sort of fighter. How good he is, we'll see against Josh Kelly. For me, he beats Josh Kelly. That is my opinion. I think he beats Josh Kelly. Alright, last bit of news. Vergil Ortiz Jr. has been confirmed to fight Erickson Lubin. This will take place November 8th in Fort Worth, Texas. For me, it's not the fight that I want to see Vergil Ortiz Jr. in. But let's talk about the fight, and then we'll talk about probably what I want from Vergil Ortiz. Erickson Lubin. This will be his second shot at a 154 interim title. His first shot came against Sebastian Fundora in 2022. Fundora beating Lubin up, to be honest. Lubin ended up retiring in the 9th round. Vergil Ortiz, he's the current and defending WBC interim champion. He's on a good run. I wasn't quite sure about him, how good he was going to be coming into that Serhii Buachuk fight. I was like, we're going to see how good Vergil Ortiz is. Gets the good majority decision win, and then I thought he really, really impressed me when he beat Israel Madrimov in February of this year. Close fight. I actually had Madrimov tipped going into that fight. I thought it was close. The bookies had it close. Everybody knew it was really, really close. And Vergil Ortiz, he showed his class, and I actually thought he won the unanimous decision wider than what the judges gave it. I thought he fought exceptional. When you look at what Israel Madrimov did against Terence Crawford, I was like, I think Israel Madrimov showed a lot of himself, but Vergil Ortiz, he just showed up and he got into a dogfight. He just got into that phone booth, beat up Israel Madrimov, got a good win. And for me, this will be his second defense of that WBC interim championship after winning it. So he's won it, defended it twice. How long is he supposed to be interim before he gets a shot at Sebastian Fundora? Ultimately, I believe he beats Erickson Lubin, and I think he beats him comfortably. No offense to Erickson Lubin, I just think that's how good Vergil Ortiz Jr. is. And I expect as soon as Vergil Ortiz Jr.'s hands lifted, the chat should begin and the paperwork should be made of a mandatory Sebastian Fundora versus Vergil Ortiz Jr. If they had no plans on Vergil Ortiz Jr. fighting Sebastian Fundora for that WBC belt, why is Vergil Ortiz Jr. holding and defending interim champion? It makes no sense to me. That's the fight that's next for Sebastian Fundora. Make it a mandatory. Fundora can then either step up to the plate or he can shy away from it like he did Xander Zayas. I've made my opinions very clear on this channel about Sebastian Fundora and some of the fights that he has taken. You're more than welcome to go back and have a look. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Sebastian Fundora to fight a Barkram, to fight a Vergil Ortiz. And as soon as he takes one of these fights, I will be getting off Sebastian Fundora's back. I just want to see him fighting the best. I don't want to see him fighting Keith Thurman. Like, come on. We have a WBC interim champion for that belt, and he's taking on Keith one-time Thurman, who's had one fight in like 4 years. What are we doing? WBC, what are you doing? Please. Vergil Ortiz is going to beat Erickson Lubin, in my opinion. Sebastian Fundora, well, we'll have to see because Keith Thurman could surprise everyone. I'm not writing him off just yet. But say that Sebastian Fundora gets through Keith Thurman, Vergil Ortiz should get through Lubin. That is the next fight. There's no excuses. I don't know why they're stringing Vergil Ortiz Jr. along with this interim belt. Alright guys, leave all your thoughts in the comments below as usual. This video did go a bit long, but hey, a lot of news to talk about, to catch up on. Like, subscribe, and I'm out of here guys. See ya!